let's get in a first take from Dinesh Shukla from Sharekhan, as well as Mayuresh Joshi from Angel Broking, who also are with us. And Dinesh, I want to first come to you. The net NPA has risen to 2.89, but it's not all that disastrous a figure that the street was actually pricing in.
Yeah, actually, the gross NPA number and even the total net slippages, which appears around 15,000 odd crores, is something lower than is what the market was expecting. On NPA front, definitely it's the numbers are little better than what the street was expecting.
Mayuresh, your first comments. I'm not even going to talk about the profit, but I think what's imperative, like Sandeep as well was mentioning, is to hear out really the management commentary on the quantum of NPAs which are yet to be recognized in the due course of time.
Yes, I think these are the two key parameters that the markets would watch out for. But looking at the numbers prima facie, it is more or less in line with what we had assumed for provisioning to probably go up. The GNPAs, net NPAs, probably what we were expecting around 2.8 on the net NPA side. It's come close to that at 2.89. The fresh slippages, if I've heard the figure correctly, at 15,000 odd crores, is probably within the market range of 15 to 20. So again, I think numbers in terms of provisioning, in terms of fresh slippages, in terms of the net NPAs, analysts are expecting a figure which is much higher. I think it has come in the higher end of the range, but again, I think it's come within the range, and that is very important. So the management commentary, I think, is going to be extremely key, and the kind of provisioning that they have done so far and what they are expected to write off in the quarter to come.
I don't have the provisioning numbers with me yet, but Umesh Mehta, I want to get you in on the discussion as well. Net NPA is at 2.89 versus a comparable of 2.14 on a sequential basis. Does this match up with your expectation?
It does match to the expectations, but what has happened is the barrage of higher NPAs and gross NPAs that are being reported by other PSU banks, compared to that, I think that gives a sigh of relief that, okay, State Bank has probably done better. But I think the biggest concern is the loss of faith that we investors had in terms of suddenly when, there is a dikkat from RBI that, you need to clean your books, and that's the time when numbers are coming out of higher NPAs and gross NPAs. I think that was a cause of worry, and that's how these PSU banks were lowered on a lower valuation. They had a lower valuation. But I think going forward, if they come clean and say that, okay, this is it and this is what our books are all about, I think that will instill a lot of confidence in entire PSU banking stock. So I think that is still missing, and we have got one more quarter to go before the year ends. And that let's see, what all things are there, how many banks come clean and they have the courage to say that whatever was restructured, whatever was really bad, that is out, that is written off. And then I think the real confidence will come in, and banking stocks will have people will look into it. Otherwise, it's purely everything is under the wrap. We don't know what's the real position in terms of their NPAs. So markets don't like uncertainty. The moment they come clean that, look, this is what they have done and this is the entire NPAs, that will instill confidence. Still, that confidence is missing.
Yes, that confidence is missing as of now. Just walk you through some of the other numbers. The total provisions at 7,949 crore rupees versus 5,235 crores on a year-on-year basis. And on a sequential basis also, it's risen substantially, given that the comparable was 4,717 crores. The absolute gross net NPAs, by the way, are up almost 30% on Q-on-Q basis at 72,792 crore rupees. Mayuresh, just walk us through your synopsis or analysis rather, or of the total provisions as well as the absolute gross NPAs.
So clearly, Aman, the NI has come a tad bit lower than what we were estimating. But clearly, as I mentioned, the GNPAs, we were assuming it to come 80-90 bips higher than quarter two of this fiscal. So we were assuming a figure of close to 5.1, which is more or less in line with what we are estimating. The net NPA is close to our estimates of 2.8. So clearly, I think in absolute terms, the GNPA figure would be close to 70-odd thousand. If the slippages is around 15-odd thousand, it is within the range of 20,000 odd that we are working with. The provisioning of around 7,640 I think it was expected to be a tad bit higher because the bank had also directed on the restructured pipeline that there would be around 6,000 odd crores to be provided for from 8 accounts. So I think the numbers in terms of the NI growth a little bit below estimates, but other numbers in terms of how asset quality has panned out largely in line with what we were probably assuming at this point of time. So again, I think as I mentioned earlier, I think what the management's perspective is in terms of the quantum of loans and the restructuring under 525, SDR, kind of provisioning that they've done, what cleanup needs to be done in Q4 as well. I think all these parameters are very, very key in terms of how the stock will perform here on.
Right, Mayuresh, this is Poonam also joining in here. If you look at just the absolute GNPA's numbers, the exact figure is 72,792 crore, which is nearly about 73,000 crore coming in terms of the gross NPA itself. It's up 28% on a sequential basis. So if we just do a quick calculation, if this could mean that we are slipping by anywhere around 20,000 odd crore on an approximate number. I do not have the exact number in terms of the slippages, but this could mean slippages as high as about 20,000 odd crore versus approximately 13,000 crore of slippages that we have done so far in the first half. Do you think that so far, in terms of the large banks itself, SBI also is performing in a poor shape relatively, even if you compare it with the larger banking universe?
Not really, Poonam. Again, I think the slippages were expected to come on higher side, and it was anybody's call on the number that would probably come through with the RBI directive that was issued. So I think the cleaning up was mandated, and the banks probably are doing the right thing. In terms of the slippages amount and the absolute number, to put it in perspective, the fresh slippages and slippages from the restructured pipeline is something to be looked at. The fresh slippages, which is around 15,000-20,000 odd crores, is within the line. The restructured pipeline, the bank had guided for 6,000 odd crores, probably going into further slippages with 8 more accounts. So I think clearly the markets were having a fair bit of hint in terms of this number coming through. As I mentioned earlier, in absolute terms, we're expecting around 70,000 crores in terms of GNPAs. That amount has come to 73,000. Looking at the balance sheet size, a 3,000 crore miss in terms of what we were estimating. I think the belief is not that it has largely not delivered. So I think in terms of what has gone wrong, probably the bank has stepped up to the act in cleaning up its balance sheet, and they might be continuing to do that probably in Q4. So I think the management commentary, again, I think is going to be extremely important, as I've been mentioning time and again.
Yeah, just waiting for some couple of other numbers. The recast under 525, SDR, what the sale to ARCs has been in this particular quarter. Besides, of course, the management commentary on large corporate exposure and RBI's Clean Up Act as well. But Sandeep, anything that you would in particular look out for from the management commentary this time?
I think when I saw the figures prior to the results, they prior to, Q3 end, they said they had 26,000 crores of net NPAs, and around stressed and restructured were around 58,000 crores. Now 16 or 17,000 crores has got added to the gross NPAs. So has the restructured and stressed asset book reduced or not? I think that's something which we'll have to watch.
Yeah, that's a key parameter. Poonam, any details that you may have on the figures that we just talked about?
Nothing incremental, Aisha, in terms of the incremental details. But I just have one question quickly for Dinesh itself. Dinesh, what will you actually just do with the stock? The stock is already at 2 years low. By the face of it, the numbers look like that we probably are working with a slippage of around 20,000 crore. I do not have the numbers, but just looking at the gross NPAs of 73,000 odd crore, that is the kind of slippage that we are probably working with. What will you exactly do with the stock, or would you still want to wait for management commentary before advising any of your investors as well?
Yeah, actually, we need more details in terms of SDR and 525 refinancing and overall outstanding restructured book, how it has moved. Thereafter, we'll take call. The stock has corrected substantially in the recent weeks. Therefore, the valuations have dropped quite significantly. But given the pressures in the corporate side in terms of asset quality and one more quarter to go when they will have more NPAs, we'll take call after the interaction with the management.
But one has to just monitor the movement in the stock price right now. It's not been the worst set of numbers given what some of the other PSU banks have been delivering. But I just wanted to get in a call, Umesh, as to how you explain the kind of movement that we've seen in the stock price. And I'd like to understand as well what it is that you're advising, given that the stock has moved the way it has over the last 1 year under a fair bit of pressure.
No, stock was a general pressure that all PSU banks were facing. But this was a surprise, Honestly speaking, the way State Bank has reported the numbers and State Bank is the strongest, yes, so those numbers are in line. But what we are looking forward is, one more quarter and year ending March, and how much cleanup, they does. And probably the biggest thing why PSU banks had a bad time was people had no confidence that what is the kind of real book, what is the real net worth, and the restructuring. So now probably the entire wind is towards that everyone now wants to come clean, and that's the time. And going forward, the government springs into action when there is a crisis. So today in the banking space, the way these stocks have been beaten down, people like the government is on notice, the RBI is on notice. We had meetings. So probably the banking bankruptcy code, the recent Supreme Court judgment that restructuring will not get priority. If the company is not doing good, might as well close it. So all these things going forward, and plus the professional management, the government is going to bring in the capital. So all these things does show a promising future. And this type of opportunity probably will have once in a lifetime. When the entire pack is coming down like 9 pence as if there is no tomorrow. And there would be some more pain, but still people will wait. People will not jump into it. We will not have a V-shaped recovery. We will have a rounding recovery. People will not be it will test the patience. Stocks will languish for some more time, and slowly and steadily, that's the time the stocks will start. So right now, from an investor's perspective, keep patience. Wait for one more quarter, see how far the books are getting cleaned, see the real book value, and that's the time people will have time to study, analyze, and then enter the stock. I think based on this valuation, stocks are discounted, and there is no further, probably 5 to 6% of the downside, but then that's it. So I think there is a lot of potential upside from long-term perspective.
SBI, in any case, was going strong into its earnings, barring a few bouts of volatility. This has been actually a gainer. But for a stock which is down 28% year to date, it's shaved off 45% in a year's time and is now at a 2-year low. Sandeep Sabharwal, is the poison already in the price? Would you be a brave heart, be a buyer in SBI, or will you wait for news to turn good before you venture into the stock?
I think people should be buying in any recovery which happens from now, which should happen eventually over the next few days. SBI should be an outperformer, and I think that's what one should watch for. The second thing which we were discussing earlier was this news on small saving rates. That's getting totally ignored in this kind of pessimism which we are talking about. That was supposed to be one of the biggest things for banks, which will reduce their cost of liabilities, and that's going to be applicable from 1st of April. So that could also add to some margins going forward. Finally, SBI as a bank, if you see, they generate 60,000 crores of net interest income in a year. And if the write-offs are going to reduce from 1st April, then the flow through to the net profit will be pretty substantial, starting not this quarter, the next quarter, starting 1st April. Yeah. So I think people should be buying this stock at this stage.
Poonam, you have a question there?
Well, I do have a question for Mayuresh. Mayuresh, if you actually look at the kind of GNPA jump just on a sequential basis for all the large banks, in fact, for SBI, I'll just quickly sum it up for you. SBI, we're seeing a jump of 28% in GNPAs. We are seeing a jump of nearly 38% for PNB. We're seeing a jump of 33% for ICICI Bank. And Axis Bank, we're seeing a jump of 29% coming in terms of the gross NPAs. And all these banks so far has stated that there would still be further stress in Q4. Do you think that, assuming that there is still further stress coming in also in Q4, or maybe on the similar lines, would you still recommend your investors to buy into these stocks at the current prices?
So clearly, Poonam, a lot of management commentaries are hinting towards stress continuing in for the better part of Q4. So if not in absolute terms, relatively, I think the stress will still continue on the balance sheets. What happens thereafter would largely hinge on two factors. A, how the credit growth recovery has been largely for the industry. And B, in terms of their client-specific activities, what kind of growth they're seeing probably in terms of end-user industry recovery. So clearly, I think these two factors are going to aid and abet the earnings momentum from FY17 for a lot of these banks, specifically having a corporate exposure. Having said that, probably I think a lot more cleanup has happened. I think the cleanup will continue for the better part of Q4. The markets probably have gestated a large part of that fact in terms of how the stock price movement has panned out. So clearly, I think a chunk of stocks is what we are still suggesting for long-term investors. But again, I think my thesis has been to be investing only 10-15% at this point of time. Let the market stabilize. And again, I think buy a bunch of these stocks that probably de-risks your portfolio risks rather than going out for one stock at this point of time.
Right. And Dinesh, this question is quickly coming to you. Slightly a very near-term question. Most of these... Okay, Umesh, this question is coming to you. Most of these PSU banks would require further government capital infusion, and we do have the budget round the corner. Do you think that despite the kind of stress that these banks have been reporting, and assuming that, again, government may, of course, have to put in more capital into these banks, do you see a mild short-term rally coming into these PSU banks in the very near term, just from a budget perspective for all these PSU banking stocks?
Of course, yes. So budget is just round the corner and we can expect a bounce back, but that will be still around 5 to 7% from the... So 5 to 10% is the likely range trading band that we see that these banks will be trading into. But the main pain or the main, the negative pessimism that was there, I think that's all over. The pain is out. And now people know that, okay, this is how PSU banks have been reporting their books. And so now much is discounted. So from fear point of view, I think much is out and stock can still languish. But, really expecting a really big, I think that's very difficult. So we can have a 5 to 7% or prior to the budget, we can have that much kind of rally.
Right, Mayuresh, if you actually look at just the numbers out here, for all the largest PSU banks, we have SBI, PNB, ICICI, Axis. These are the kind of numbers that we have in terms of the jump that we are seeing on a sequential basis. Look at the kind of stress that these banks have in fact reported out here. This is high amount of stress, and probably we may see a similar jump also coming into the GNPAs for Q4, at least on a similar lines. And this is what is causing concerns in the markets, and management commentary coming in from here from State Bank of India would be of crucial importance as to how much of the stress as per the RBI AQR review have they actually recognized on their books so far. So this is the kind of stress. Fundamentally, yes, most of the PSU banks remain weak, barring in State Bank of India. Private banks are so far performing far better. Again, in terms of the very near term into the PSU banks, we may probably see a very short-term rally on the announcement of government capital infusion. So keep in mind that. But having said that, most of the PSU banks, probably barring slightly in terms of SBI, most of the PSU banks do remain still fundamentally weak out here.
Okay, that's clearly a snapshot of the kind of stress that you've seen in asset quality. Bank of India's losses, 1,510 crore rupees. So just when we thought we were getting some sort of a breather in terms of the numbers, Bank of India has put out a fairly unencouraging set. We'll have to wait and watch as to once again what exactly is the asset quality, the kind of figure that it delivers. But this is not an encouraging number to look at. The gross NPAs, and here is the problem factor, 9.18% versus 7.55% on a sequential basis. The stock, rightly so, has nosedived now to the day's low of about 6%. You've got the loss that has come in at about 1,510 crore rupees, and this is versus a corresponding profit of close to 173 crore rupees. Once again, Sandeep, a disappointing set of numbers. Net interest income also very flat at 2708 versus 2,780 crore rupees. Just walk us through how one should read through the initial numbers.
I think some of these banks, especially Bank of India, was always supposed to be stressed because it was one of the riskiest lenders 3-4 years back. And when we used to talk in the market, when a lot of people wouldn't get loans, they would get it from Bank of India. So I think that's coming home to play now, and I think that's what is reflected. So I think one has to be selective. The larger PSU banks like OBC and SBI look to be much clearer than the other ones.
Yeah, the skeletons are coming out of the cupboard, really. Umesh, we were chatting about SBI, but then there are the ones like a Bank of India which continue to haunt you, and one really wonders, what we're going to see in the future quarters ahead from the likes of a Bank of India.
So I think from stock price point of view, much is discounted in Bank of India too. The NPA, gross NPA in terms of around 9%. So now the surprise element is over. So market is smart, and market has already discounted, the fall that we had seen last 1 month. So seeing the results and now taking a call that, oh my God, these banks are really doing horrible. No, from stock market perspective, I think much is discounted. What we want to see in the going future is how government now does its own part in terms of how it is able to implement the bankruptcy code. So how quickly it is able to legislate that. So I think that's going to be a game changer for the entire PSU bank. The professionalism, the banks will be governed by professional management. So all those things now we are awaiting. And the moment these things are done, that will be a real bottom of the decade for entire PSU pack, and that's the time really when investors can go all out and make money. But till that time, I think that they should remain patient, understand, see what's happening.
152,512 crores, and the total business resultant is up by 5.85. Our CASA deposits have gone up by 8.97% to 51,004 crores.